Hi everyone, my name's Anthony. I'm with the University of North Texas. I am an admissions counselor here in the office. We're going to give everyone just a few minutes to log in and get settled, and we'll start the presentation here in just a little bit. But if you guys have any questions right now, feel free to send them in to the Q&A box, and we can start chatting. Answer work.
Just make the announcement on it. If you'd like to ask any more questions,
We'll be in the chat. Cool. There's 6 right now. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, not including the 3 of us.
all right, we'll go ahead and get ready.
Okay, you shut the door.
Yeah, we're resting.
Exactly. Oh, it looks like we lost someone. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. To those of you who just joined us, my name is Anthony. I'm an admissions counselor here at the University of North Texas. I service the Dallas-Fort Worth area and a little bit of East Texas, but my primary position here is to recruit high-caliber students, high-achieving students, so students with exceptional test scores, students with leadership abilities, students that we feel are very important to us here at UNT. Currently, I'm working on a master's degree in higher education, and my undergraduate degree is in theater and dance performance. So that's a little bit about me. If you guys have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to just click one of the Q&A boxes and ask me a question. We've got some other people here that will answer some questions, but for the most part, it will just be me. So if you have any questions, please just ask. So we'll go ahead and start. This presentation is all about how to choose the right college for you. There's a lot of different colleges out there, and sometimes this can seem really daunting when you're trying to decide on where to apply or even just where to tour. And hopefully this presentation that's available to you online, and we can definitely provide you with an actual paper booklet later on, but this is an opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about the things you should be asking, the things that maybe you had no idea would even affect your college career, stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and get started. The table of contents is exactly just what it seems. This is what we're going to go over. So why go to college, how to choose the college, applying to college, timelines for success, how to pay for college. This is something that's also very important, and some helpful websites. And what I think is the coolest is the glossary of terms in the back. I can tell you countless times of when I've had questions and there's terms that I don't understand. This is an opportunity for you to actually have it in writing, what accreditation means, what credit by exam means, what a co-ed university is, or even a small private liberal arts college. Those are some of the types of definitions in there. So first, you kind of want to see why go to college. College is key to the kind of life that you want. College graduates earn more money and they have access to a wider range of job opportunities, and I think that's really important. And a lot of students are going to realize that while they're in school, is that more and more jobs are requiring that you have a bachelor's degree to even apply. So this is really important for you as a student right now, whether you're in 8th grade, 9th, 12th grade, whatever it is, to realize that college is a great stepping stone for success in the real world. There's a little graph there for you, the U.S. mean annual earnings by education level, and you can see if for whatever reason you didn't complete high school, what people who do not have a high school diploma are earning annually is a little, just at $24,000 a year. It's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, and when you look at the earning levels for other students and for other completers in the education program, you can see a huge difference. High school is just under $34,000 annually, just having a high school diploma. So even in that, it's a $10,000 jump just completing high school. After that, a bachelor's degree, it's around $55,000. That's also a really high increase. And then if you decide to pursue advanced degrees, like a master's degree program that I'm in, or a PhD program, medical school, law school, physical therapy school, pharmacy school, those types of things, that earning potential on average is around $84,000 a year. Very, very important. So next is choosing a college, and choosing a college can be very, very stressful. Even just deciding on what you want to look at can be really stressful. So it's important for you to know that every university has its own personality, its own size, its own shape. Every university is different. Some of them might share a same name as far as a system name, like UNT has with the UNT campus in Denton and a UNT campus in Dallas, but they're completely different entities and they all have different things to offer. So it's important that you pick and choose where you want to go depending on you as a student, and you might discover that you prefer the intimacy of a smaller campus or you want the swirling activity of a larger university. But these are some things that you want to think about when you are looking for schools. So location. Location is very, very important. How far away from home will I be? What kind of entertainment is there? What kind of jobs are there? Can I see myself living there? So this is really, really important. Ooh, this is a really good question by Ethan. I mean, like I said, if you just have questions, just go ahead and pop them in. But Ethan wants to know if they live out of state, and how can you have out-of-state tuition waived? Very important. I see quite a few of you in this group who are out-of-state students, and that's really important for you is the cost, and we'll get into cost a little bit later. But for you, Ethan, how to earn in-state tuition, how to have that out-of-state tuition waived is a few different ways. The most common way is to earn a scholarship from the university of $1,000 or more per academic year. So that scholarship would be from the university. It's a competitive scholarship, so any of the merit-based scholarships that we have, or any of the, like let's say for our College of Music, if you earned a performance scholarship through that college, and it is $1,000 or more per year, that is the quickest way and the easiest way to earn in-state tuition. A guaranteed admissions policy, another question by Zach, is a little wordy and it could be confusing for a lot of people. So it's really important that you kind of understand and get a grasp of that. Our guaranteed admissions policy is given to students in the state of Texas, students who are in the top 10% of their class. Students who fall outside of the top 10%, and this is even for out-of-state students, at UNT, we look at your class rank. So you're a quarter in your class, and your SAT or ACT scores. So we have automatic admissions or guaranteed admissions for students in the top 10% of their class. If you are in that next 15%, so the top 25 but not the top 10, you would need to have minimum of a 950 on your SAT or a 20 on your ACT. Now it's important to know that that SAT score is just critical reading and math, so it's a 950 out of the 1600 scale. For students in the second quarter of their class, so anywhere between 25 and 49th percentile, you're going to be looking at a 1050 on your SAT or a 23 on your ACT. Students in the third quarter is a little bit different. There's a little bit of a jump. It's going to be an 1180 on the SAT or a 26 on the ACT. If you are in the fourth quarter of your class, we are going to review those on an individual basis, and students in the fourth quarter will need to submit 2 test scores, 3 letters of recommendation, and an essay, topic C, on the Applied Texas application. So getting back here to this slide here, you want to figure out location-wise, is whatever university that you're looking for, is that going to be the right place for you? For a lot of people, Denton is the right place for them, and that's where our university is located. We're in a city of about 122,000 people. The really interesting part about Denton is that we are 60,000 of the students, or of the people who live in Denton, are students. So the population here really revolves around you as a student, and it feels like a college town. Not every university is in a small town like we are. Not every university is located outside of 2 major cities like we are. Some are in the middle of nowhere, some are in the downtown of a major metropolitan area. So for you as a student, you really want to figure out what way do you feel comfortable, how do you feel comfortable, and what is going to be the best environment for you. Another thing to consider is campus size. There are huge schools, there are medium schools, there are very small private liberal arts colleges, there are very small private church-affiliated schools, and they range from anywhere, in the upwards 60,000 students all the way down to 1,300 students. It just really depends. So it would benefit you to explore that, to see what you feel comfortable with. At UNT, we have 36,000 students on our campus. We're the 4th largest school in the state of Texas. But another thing to realize is that UNT is only about as big as you make it, as your program is. So, for example, myself, I was in a program on campus that's a little smaller. It was a theater program, and we had about 150 students. So with those 150 students and the 1,000 to 2,000 students I had in student groups, my 36,000 student campus really shrunk down to about 3,000 students, and it felt like I went to a very small private school, but I got to pay for a large public school. So it was really an interesting kind of juxtaposition there. So something to consider. Do you want to go to a big school? Do you want to go to a small school? Do you want to go to a medium school? Would you feel more comfortable in a school where you can have one-on-one time with your professors, where there are only 15 students per class? It's really important to recognize that for you as a learner and what you feel like you're going to be the most successful at. Another thing to consider is the majors. You would be very surprised about how many students end up applying to college enrolling at a university only to find out that that university doesn't have their major. So it's really important that you do that homework beforehand to figure out, what do you want to study? What is there for you to do on that campus in terms of academics? So you want to make sure that they have your program of study on that campus. You want to do the research and see how well they do that program. Is that a top-rated program? Is it a nationally ranked program? Are they specifically known for things within that academic department? You want to make sure that that school has that for you. At UNT, we have 98 bachelor's degree programs, 82 master's degree programs, and 36 doctoral programs. So there's a lot of different things to study. What's important for students who don't know what they want to do, and I'm sure there are plenty of you out there, and you may even have friends who literally have zero clue about what they want to do with the rest of their life. It's totally fine. Sometimes I feel like I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. And it can be kind of overwhelming. So you want to make sure that you give yourself the opportunity to explore a lot of majors. So if the university that you choose has quite a few different opportunities for you to enroll in terms of the different programs, that would benefit you, as opposed to going to a smaller school with only a few different majors, and then when you decide that that's not something you want to pursue anymore, it'll be a little harder to transfer your credits into another degree program. So it is kind of a catch-22 there if you want to think about it that way. Cost is another thing that's really important. What types of financial aid, what types of scholarships, does this university give out more grants? Those are things that are really important to be aware of. Every institution is different, and every institution gives out money differently, and it's important for you to kind of do that research from the beginning and kind of know the timeline. Today it's October 1st, 2014, and we've actually just started to award our first students with merit-based scholarships for the fall of 2015. So students who have already applied, been accepted, and done the application process for the scholarships are already receiving their award packages, which is pretty exciting, and it allows our students to make a better and informed decision earlier on so they can start making those plans. Campus life is another thing that's really important. What do students do on that campus? Is there fraternity and sorority life? Are there leadership organizations? Do they have a marching band? Is there a large constituency of artists on that campus and it feels very artistic? These are things that are really important for you to decide as a student. What do I want to do while I'm on campus? If you're thinking about school and what you do on campus right now in your own high school, 9 times out of 10 we have that at UNT, and other universities have those organizations. They're here for you to be a part of. You just need to explore that. Really good question, Zach. What's the average merit scholarship payout for someone above the normal percentile GPA ACT? So this is something that's really interesting, and it's different for every student, and something that we can, or that we created for you guys, for you to explore this on your own, is a scholarship calculator for our UNT Excellence Scholarship. So if you go online to our website, unt.edu, and search for our scholarship calculator, you're going to go in there, click some information. You're going to type in your contact information, obviously, your rank in class, and your SAT or ACT score. And once you submit that, it's going to generate a scholarship eligibility for you. If you're within a certain scholarship range, it'll show you how much money you're eligible for. If you aren't within that range, it'll tell you these are the ranges that we're looking for, and this is the test score that you should shoot for. So an average merit scholarship payout for someone with above the normal percentile, we look at students in the top half of their class. So students in the top half of their class with an ACT, I know you mentioned ACT here, with an ACT score of above a 24 are eligible for anywhere between $3,000 and $8,000 per academic year. For the SAT, it's above a 1100, excuse me. So If you are in the top half of your class, you have an 1100 on your SAT or a 24 on your ACT, you're eligible for scholarship money. Now, eligible is the key word there. There might not be scholarship money for a student in the 49th percentile with that minimum SAT score. So it's really important that if you have that SAT or ACT minimum, that you're trying to improve it. At UNT, we super score and use a composite score for the SAT, ACT. So the more times you take the test, the better it is for you, because we're going to take the best score of each attempt and put that together. So our merit scholarships for the UNT Excellent Scholarship Program varies anywhere between $3,000 and $8,000 per academic year. Support services is something that's also very important. You want to realize, or you want to kind of take into consideration what that university has for you. At UNT, we have a health and wellness center. Our health and wellness center is open to all of our students. It's there for you to utilize. It's a doctor's office, it's a clinic, it's a minor emergency clinic free to you as a student. We have campus-wide career days where we have different agencies coming and speaking to our different students, hiring days, career fairs. We have a money management center. We have an LGBT center on campus, a multicultural center. We've got a lot of different things for you to explore as far as student services go, and a lot of universities have these. So if those are things that are important to you, those are the types of organizations and the types of resources and offices you're going to want to look for. All right, we have two questions here, really good questions. How are early college students different in the admissions and scholarships programs? That's a really good question, Ingrid. Early college students are looked at very differently. We look at you as kind of a holistic approach when it comes to admissions. We not only look at your SAT and ACT scores, your class rank, and GPA, but we look at the courses that you've taken through that community college that you're enrolled in. We see how well you've done. We see how well you've progressed. Let's say you've been in an early college high school for all 4 years and you started taking college courses the second semester of your sophomore year, and you struggled a little bit in the first couple of classes. We're going to take that into consideration when we look at your junior year and we see how well you've improved. So it's a holistic approach, and we try to make the best decision possible because you are going to come in with so many credits. Scholarship programs are available to students. In this next year, for early college students, we are eligible to give out the Greater Texas Foundation Scholar. It's the Greater Texas Scholars Program, so it's the GTF Scholars, the Greater Texas Foundation. And what those students, or what this scholarship is for students from early college high schools, and it would pay for the majority of your tuition and fees while you're here on campus. So that is something to look into. Ingrid, if you want to email me, I can give you a lot of more information about the early college program and the GTF Scholars Program. My email address is anthony@unt.edu. Again, Anthony, ANTHONY, @unt.edu. Ethan has another question here. How common is it for a music ed major to receive a music scholarship if he or she excels in an instrument? That I'm not really sure. That those programs are all performance-based, the scholarships are. As a music ed student, you will audition with an instrument and you have an opportunity to earn a scholarship, but I'm not really sure how they differentiate between music ed students as opposed to jazz students or composition students or performance students. So it's important that you're in contact with the College of Music and you're talking to them a little bit about what's going on in your scholarship opportunities, and they can be reached through their music website, music.unt.edu. Oh, great. So if for you, Ethan, or for any other students in here that is interested in the College of Music, we have a November 5th date that the College of Music is actually going to be hosting one of these College Week live sessions, so that would definitely be a good opportunity for you to come and see that. All right, next page. So this is a college comparison chart, which is really interesting. I always encourage students to print these things out, and when they go on their college searches, when they're actually making lists and figuring out what's different about each university, this is a good opportunity for you to have it all in one place. And like I said, we can definitely send this to you, or you can print out this presentation, or go online and print this book out yourself. There's always an opportunity to do that. But this comparison chart gives you an idea of the things that you should be looking for: location, size, major, cost, campus life, support services. What's really great about this is UNT's information is already there. Obviously, if you're here in this chat and you're interested in UNT, you want to know these things already. So you have the location, the size of the campus, some majors that we offer, cost of attendance, campus life, support services. You have that. And then when you go on other campus tours to another university in the area, in the state, or maybe even out of state, you have these two columns, and you can write this information and be easier for you to compare and contrast. Okay, great. So if you guys have any questions about application processes, links to different programs on campus, in the chat room at 8 p.m. That we're going to have right after this, we'll be able to post links in there, and you guys can have those links for you right there in front of you, so you can start to explore those different programs. So that scholarship calculator I was talking to you about, or the College of Music website, those types of things will be in there. So next page is kind of getting down to the nitty-gritty here. What's important? Applying to college is the first step. I talk to students all the time about the great things that college has to offer, the great things that UNT has to offer, and I always ask them this question: how do you get to enjoy any and all of these things? You have to apply. Applying is the very first step. If you don't apply, you can't come. It's as simple as that. So it's important that you understand the different admissions requirements for different universities and what they ask of you in the application process itself. So in the state of Texas, if you are a Texas resident, if you are in school right now, we require all students to complete either the course curriculum under the Recommended or Distinguished Achievement Plan in their high school. If you're an out-of-state student, you still have to meet this requirement, but it's a little different for you. You and your counselor have to sit down and fill out a form from us if you don't meet the SAT or ACT requirements, which is right under that we'll talk about. But you'll be able to fill that out with your counselor to see if you do meet those requirements. If your school is teaching you the same things that we are teaching our students in the state of Texas, it's just done a different way. So you'll be able to look at that. To be exempt from that requirement in the state of Texas, you can see on this sheet here that you need to earn an SAT score of at least a 1500 out of 2400, or meet certain ACT benchmarks, an 18 in English, 22 in math, 21 in the social sciences, or 24 in science. Also listed on there is admissions information for UNT. So we talked a little bit earlier about the admissions criteria. So top 10% automatically accepted, next 15% a 950 or a 20, second quarter 1050 or a 23, third quarter 1180 or a 26. These are really important things for you to remember and for you to see, and it's right here in front of you, and you can obviously find that on our website as well. But you want to be thinking to yourself, what kind of exams should I take? What does that university require? Some universities require you take a very specific test. At UNT, we want you to take either one. I always encourage students to take them both, because students will do remarkably better on one or the other, and you won't know which one you do better on unless you take them both. And at UNT, like I mentioned before, we super score, so taking a test multiple times is going to be in your best benefit, so we can put together the best possible score for you. So how do you apply? Something that's really important. Colleges, UNT and other universities ask that you turn in applications, transcripts. They want to know your class rank, entrance exams. Those are the types of things that we want to see. Some universities require you to type essays. Some universities require you to submit multiple essays. So it's important that you understand what is required of you from that university. If you look down here a little bit on the screen, there's the middle, the SAT and the ACT. Like I was mentioning to you, they're very different, and students will do remarkably better on one or the other. So this is kind of a breakdown of what separates the tests. I get a lot of laughs when I tell students that they are two different tests. They laugh at me because obviously one's an SAT and one's an ACT, right? But they test over different things. The strategy is different, and it's important for you to recognize that from the beginning so you can test to your strengths. All right, next page here. So this is a timeline for your success, essentially. So what you could be doing if you're in the 8th grade, if you're in the 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. These are some steps that you should be aware of. If you are younger and you are in the 8th grade, or let's say you have a sibling who is younger and they are in the 8th grade, it's important to talk to your teachers about high school and what types of courses you can take in high school that will prepare you for the university that you're wanting to go to. So if it's pre-AP classes, if it's an IB program that you want to be a part of, it's important that you explore that, and that you take a foreign language class to get you prepared for the foreign language requirement that you're going to have in high school. Awesome. Ethan has another good question. Do you need letters of recommendation for UNT? The answer is yes and no, all in the same sentence. It really depends on where you are in your graduating class and the type of admissions that you're looking for. I had mentioned to you all of the opportunities for you to meet automatic admissions, for you to earn the guaranteed admissions through those test scores. But let's say you are in the top 25% of your class, but for some reason you scored a 19 on your ACT. 1 point shy of being automatically admitted. What can you do? Well, you're going to have to go through the individual review process, and that's when you're going to want those 3 letters of recommendation that I spoke about earlier. So 3 letters of rec from your counselors, from your, if you're in band, from your band director, theater director, your after-school program advisor, from your part-time job supervisor, from a church youth leader, something like that. You're going to need those letters of recommendation. And for students who don't meet those automatic admissions requirements but fall within a certain score range, we're going to ask that you turn in 3. Along with letters of recommendation, we encourage students to turn in Topic C on Apply Texas. We don't ask that you turn in all 3 essay topics. We only want to see Topic C. And for students who are applying to UNT, it's important that they turn that in because that could expedite the process. For example, this student who is in the top 25% of their class but with a 19 on their ACT, there are things that we're going to need from them, the 3 letters of recommendation and the essay, and if they've already turned in the essay, that takes out 1 additional step that they're going to have to follow. So, back here to the 9th grade. If you are in the 9th grade, what's important is that you should be taking math courses like geometry and algebra. And studies show that students who take these courses early on are actually more prepared and more likely to go to college. So it's important that you do that. What I would do in this situation is start to be exploring different career options. Think of the things that you're interested right now and what types of careers come with that. So if you are really interested in science, you want to look into science programs, pre-med programs. You want to look at schools with a strong forensics program. Let's say if you're interested in crime scene investigation. Those are the types of things that you want to be aware of in terms of a career path that you can have. In the 10th grade, you should be taking advanced placement courses, so AP courses. Take part in school clubs and organizations. That's also really critical for students, is to be involved. That's really helpful for you to learn interpersonal skills, earn leadership skills, and definitely give back to your community. And those are types of things that you will be doing all the time in college, so it's important to start that early. In the 11th grade, this is when it starts to get really important for you to start preparing for college. You should take the PSAT, you should take the ACT or the SAT exam. I always encourage students to take them during their junior year so they can figure out which is their strong suit. You should attend college fairs and begin gathering a bunch of information about the different schools that you're interested in so you can compare and contrast. Hopefully some of you have been to some college fairs in your area. If you're in the state of Texas, we do quite a few, and most other states do as well. Sometimes UNT isn't able to go out to certain areas of the United States, but there's always an opportunity for you to explore us through events like this, through our website, contacting us, establishing a relationship, and hopefully coming to campus and taking a campus visit. And that's another step that you should be doing, is touring campuses. I can't tell you how important it is to tour the campus that you're interested in. We'll talk a little bit later about campus tours and how to set up one here at UNT, and then I'll talk about the importance of just taking a tour on any college campus. In the 12th grade, so your senior year, it's really important that you've got those SAT and ACT tests done. When I tell students to take those tests in the 11th grade in their junior year, I tell them that so October of their senior year, like I know some students are taking the SAT for the first time next Saturday, that's not the first time you're taking that test. You have an opportunity to improve upon your scores if you've already taken that test once or twice. So retaking that exam is important, and then narrowing down your list of potential colleges and going onto those campuses again for their different open houses and preview dates. Making sure that you're aware of application deadlines is also really important, and scholarship deadlines. Our application deadline at UNT is March 1st. Your application, like I mentioned before, is on applytexas.org. And you'll have to do that before March 1st. If you're interested in scholarships, I know we had a question earlier about the merit-based scholarships, specifically the UNT Excellence Scholarship. That application is actually due February 1st. So you have to have applied to the university and then applied to the separate application for the financial aid and scholarships department. You have to do those two separate things. You have to apply, be admitted, and then do that application. That application is open. Like I mentioned earlier, we have already awarded students for this next coming academic year. Then you're going to want to submit your FAFSA. That's the free application for federal student aid. You're going to want to submit that during January. It opens January 1st. Your parents are going to have to help you with that. It's all dependent upon your parents' tax information. So you're going to want to make sure that you get that done as soon as possible, and then apply for any other scholarships as well. On the bottom of here, it kind of has a little question there. What are transcripts? Sometimes students have no idea that everything that you're doing is being documented in terms of your academic work, and we need to see that as a university, or any university needs to see those things. At UNT, we will take your transcript up until, or at the earliest, the end of your junior year. So the work that you've done your 9th, 10th, and 11th grade year, that's what we're going to use to consider you for admissions purposes. If for whatever reason you do better in your senior year for your first semester or your second semester and your class rank improves, you can always turn in and resubmit new transcripts and new SAT and ACT scores, and we always review those for our students. Next slide here is about paying for college. Very important. I can tell you all about the great things that we do at UNT and all the great things that will happen when you go to college and you're in those student groups and you're diving into your major, but how are you going to pay for it? That's really important. College is a very big investment. It is a very important investment, and it's important that you understand, the ways that you can pay for college. So there are different ways. There's financial aid, there's scholarships, there's loans, there's grants, there's student employment. There's always a way to find money to pay for school. So it's important that you understand the different avenues and the different ways that you can earn that money. Excuse me. Okay, I've got a question, so before I get into financial aid, we'll go here. So the question is about GPA. Which GPA do we use? So we will take into consideration both, but what's really important is that you realize that what we use for admissions purposes at UNT is based on your class rank. So it's based on your GPA, next to what other students in your graduating class are doing. So we're concerned with where you are within your graduating class, top quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So really you need to be not only concerned with where your GPA is, but where that puts you in your graduating class. I hope that didn't sound like I was evading your answer, Ethan, but we look at both of them. We want to consider both GPAs because we want to see that you're in those honors level classes, but we look at the entirety of your graduating class. So financial aid, that is that application that I was talking to you about, the federal, the free application for federal student aid that you will fill out in January. That's what you're going to fill out in order to receive financial aid. Loans are a little bit different. There are quite a few different loans. There are federal loans through the government. There are unsubsidized loans. There are subsidized loans. There are short-term loans. There are private loans. But what you should really be cognizant of, what you need to be aware of, is how much of an investment that is in your future in having those loans, and how important it is for you to understand the terms of your loan, and that you will eventually have to pay it back. Loans are money that you will pay back. Scholarships and grants are completely different. Scholarships and grants are free money. Scholarships are given to students who earn them through academic programs, through merit-based programs, through performance-based programs, those types of things. Those scholarships are available to you, and they're available to you through a multitude of different things. At UNT, you'll fill out one scholarship application for about 75 different scholarships on our campus. Grants, again, are different than loans and financial aid, but they are free money as well. They're money that you don't have to pay back. But you'll fill out your FAFSA in order to qualify for those grants. So there's the federal Pell Grant, there's the Educational Opportunity Grant, and the Texas Public Education Grant, and you can definitely start to explore those different things. Student employment is also something that a lot of university students do to subsidize some of the cost of living and some of the cost of attending a university, and that's where you actually work at your school. You can work in your residence hall, you can work in the dining facilities, you can work in the library. There's a lot of different things that you can do as a student employee. At UNT, there's actually more faculty, or there are more student jobs available than there are faculty and staff. So there's more students here working on our campus than we have people like me. And that's available to you, and that's a really good thing because we want you to feel like you are earning your spot here, like that you can earn your spot at the university. So student employment is there for you. I was a student employee here on our campus, and we have student employees here in our office. It's a great opportunity for you to pay for college. The next page we have on here is some helpful websites for you to explore. There's some on here that are UNT based, so there's apply.unt.edu for students to get more information about UNT, to explore the different counselors for different regions of the United States, or even just within the state of Texas. We have admissions counselors for that. Financialaid.unt.edu, which will have all of our financial aid information on there, all of grants, scholarships, our scholarship library information is on there as well. This presentation, howtochoose.unt.edu, will actually be online, so you can explore that as well. And then tours.unt.edu, and that's something that I wanted to make sure that you are aware of. The collegeboard.org is something that's also really important. That's where your SAT is going to be. The registration for that and information for those tests are going to be there. Tours.unt is really important because it actually shows you what tours are available, when they are available. We have them 4 times a day, 5 days a week, and 2 on the weekends. We even have some night tours up until daylight savings time kicks in. So there's always an opportunity to come and see us at UNT. You just need to go to that website, tours.unt.edu. I think touring campuses is very important. I toured quite a few campuses my senior year, and the story, and that's the same story with a lot of students here. Making sure that you tour everywhere that you can so you have the best options. UNT was a choice for me kind of after the fact. I didn't tour UNT at the very beginning of my senior year. I had toured every other university that I was interested in. I got admitted to another institution. I got a 75% scholarship to that institution. It was great. I had always wanted to go there, my dream school. I toured UNT with a friend of mine, and just stepping on that campus, or on this campus, excuse me, as a prospective student and not as an athletic fan, not as an alumnus's son, a son or daughter. I mean, I went there to see what that university could offer me as a student, which I didn't really do for any other university because I already had my mind made up. I just kind of went through those motions. I toured UNT and I fell in love, and that's just something that happens to a lot of students here. It's the people on campus, it's the atmosphere, it's the overall disposition that people have here at UNT. They're very helpful and they want you to feel comfortable and they want you to feel like you're part of that community. And that was something that I didn't feel at any other school. And when I tell students that story, I don't tell them that story to sell UNT to them. I tell them that story to sell college, the idea of touring campuses to them. It's really, really, really important that you get on a college campus and see what it's like to be a student there. I would have never known UNT existed had my friend not encouraged me to step foot on the campus. UNT is not for everyone. UNT has a place for a lot of different people. Like I'd mentioned, we have 98 bachelor's degree programs, but this isn't the place for everyone. It may be the place for you, and you might have that exact same experience that I had here, or you might have that at another university, but you're never going to know that unless you go and take that tour and you use these helpful hints about how to choose the right college for you to get to that point. Right now, this is the end of this presentation. As far as the slides are concerned, I can take you to this next page. It has a glossary of items for you to explore. I'll leave this up for you to look at. But like I had mentioned before, we have howtochoose.unt.edu for you to go onto and look at this. There's a PDF version of this presentation, as well as a way to sign up to get a physical copy of it. So right now I'll take questions. If you have questions, shoot them to the Q&A box, and I'd be more than happy to help you out. All right, got another question. That is a great question, Ingrid. Ingrid asked about the SAT math score requirement for the engineering program. If that score requirement isn't met, then you'll go through a set of prerequisites to get into the engineering program. So instead of coming in as an engineering major, you'll come in as a pre-engineering major, and you'll take those prerequisite classes in order to enroll into the program itself. That's a really good question. That score requirement is there to avoid those prerequisites, but if you don't meet them, you'll have an opportunity to take those prerequisites to get in. Kelsey has a good question about the differences in the between a BA and a BS in the science programs at UNT. Some have more math involved, some have more lab sciences involved. Either one is good, especially if you're interested in going to medical school or you want to teach. There's a clear path for both of those. Our pre-med advisors advise students, if they are interested in pursuing degrees in the medical field, to go into the BA program, to earn those credits, to have an opportunity to have electives that will be beneficial to you in applying to medical school, and for BS students to, if they are interested in teaching, for students to take the BS degrees. The science programs on our campus, the living sciences, they're very well funded here at UNT, and the idea of if you want to teach or if you want to go into research or the medical field, that those options are going to be available to you, and those programs are going to set you up for success. So the difference is just the course curriculum and the amount of courses that you have to take in a specific academic area. But as far as one being better than the other, both are great. All right, got another question here. So is there a special requirement for the School of Business, such as an SAT or an ACT score? That's a really great question. Students who come in to the College of Business are automatically entered into the major. They're not considered business majors, they're considered pre-business majors. So there isn't necessarily a requirement to get in. There is a requirement to complete the program. Students need to have at minimum a 2.7 GPA in order to complete the program in the College of Business. So you'll be in those prerequisite classes anyway. It's like a foundation for the College of Business, and then you will actually go through the steps to complete those prerequisites in order to become a full major in the College of Business. These are great questions, guys, so please keep them coming. And after this is over, we've got about 8 minutes of the live broadcast here, but after this is over, we'll hop over onto the College Week Live portion. You guys won't have to do anything, but we'll be there to talk to you, to answer questions in a chat format. So kind of the same that you're doing here. This has got to be pretty boring for you guys to just sit here and look at me. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. I see Wyatt's here, Katiana, Lexi, Brittany. If you guys have questions, shoot them my way. So Kelsey asks, on the UNT website, if you click the geology major, it goes to the geography page. Can you only minor in geology? That is correct. You can only minor in geology. You will have a major in geography and take courses in geology. Great question, Ingrid. What is needed to apply as a double major? That really depends on the program that you are trying to double major in. So some programs on our campus require auditions. Some programs on our campus require a portfolio review, interviews, those types of things. But if you're interested in double majoring on our campus, really all you need to do is speak with your advisor. And you meet with your advisor for the first time during freshman orientation when you register for classes. So you will sit down with your advisor and you will say, let's say you're in the College of Arts and Sciences and you're interested in majoring in biology, but you want to have a double major in, let's say, business administration. You'll meet with your biology advisor and you say, hey, look, I'm interested in completing this program as well as a BBA here on our campus. So that advisor will advise you on the courses that you need to take in order to fulfill the degree requirements for the College of Arts and Sciences and for your specific degree program. And then they'll send you on your way to speak with the advisor for the other college that you're interested in. So in this scenario, the College of Business and a general business advisor. And they'll tell you what you need to know to complete their program requirements. So it's really easy to double major on our campus. The only thing I tell students when they ask me if it's hard to double major, I say no. The only thing that's hard is time management. So you have to be really on top of yourself, your schedule, your classes, the different things that are required of you for different programs, and the communication lines need to be open between all three of you, the two advisors for both programs and yourself. I see that one of you is from Austin, Texas. That's awesome. I grew up right outside of San Antonio. Love the Central Texas area. You will love UNT if you're interested in coming up here. It's far away from home, but it's close enough to where you can go home and visit if you want, but definitely far enough away that your parents won't come and bother you. So it's a completely different world. You're really going to like it up here if this is something that you're interested in. Okay, guys, we've got about 2 minutes left, so if you have any last-minute questions, please shoot them my way. Again, the best way to reach me is here in my office. I've got my email address, which I can give to you guys later, but I'll tell it to you right now. It's super easy. It's just anthony@unt.edu, anthony@unt.edu. Okay, Kelsey asks, if you've already sent in your SAT scores and already submitted your application, can you still send your new SAT scores if you test again? Yes, please send us every single score that you have. If you've already applied and you've already received a decision from us because you turned in that information, and let's say that decision wasn't necessarily a good one, you'll have an opportunity to send in your new scores and we will reevaluate your application every single time you turn in your scores. So right after this, we're going to be moving into questions in the chat box, so please send them in. We're going to be around until 9 o'clock. So if you've got any questions, shoot them that way, or you can definitely reach out to me. I'm a great resource here on our campus, and for you, I'd love for you to come and tour. Again, anthony@unt.edu. All right, guys, the live feed is going to end here in just a second. So thank you so much for coming and listening to us, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.